Hi folks, you're with Tacitus today, your pushback channel, and thank you for joining this audio no pictures live stream. Please listen to this presentation as you would a radio broadcast. In this essay, I'd like to talk about how deaths of white people and brown black people, this is deaths in the prison system or deaths of despair, if you like, how differently they're treated by the media. Now, there's a case recently that was hysterically headlined by the media, and not headlined as in it was a news item for a few hours, which most of these things are, but they headlined it for days, and even after that kept it in among the top. So it's the feature headline for days. Then they move it down a little bit, but it's still in the top 20 headlines. That they just relentlessly push this, and then all supposed experts have come along to say how evil whitey is that a black guy died in the prison system. So now it was used for propaganda purposes, and if you look at like the Black Lives Matter movement and these things, they became international very quickly. And you can clearly see the international NGO and globalist cabal coordination, because it's beautiful propaganda if you're going to spread social division and blame and shame evil whitey and this sort of stuff. Not the elite white people, but the other white people. Now, in this particular incident, I want to highlight how differently white deaths of despair and the black deaths of despair, and I'll put it in that category because it was alleged to be suicide, and so I'll just give you without naming names or anything, I'll give you the general architecture of it. A career criminal, Indigenous Australian, black guy. I don't think he's full blood. I think he's like a quarter, but he identifies as Aboriginal, which is code speak for he's not full blood. So he identifies as Aboriginal. He's a career criminal. Now his parents were, he's born in sort of like a tribal situation, as I understand it, but his parents were either both in prison, or one of them was in prison, the other was incapacitated through, say, drug use, things like that. So they couldn't find relatives who were able to or wanted to care for him. So he ended up being a ward of the state, going around to different places and in and out of various care and foster homes, orphanages, all that sort of stuff. Not a pretty story. I mean, it's an unfortunate sort of thing, but and he became a career criminal, and so very soon to turn 18, and commits yet more crimes, and he's put into prison, and he's on hourly watch. So you've got, if you think someone, I suppose this is my understanding of how it works. If you think someone's in danger of topping themselves, then you put them in a cell with CCTV and permanent surveillance. Now, when that's done with Aboriginal people in Australia, that's also considered as intrusive. Why are you monitoring evil whitey? And you're watching them 24/7. It's that sort of evil monitoring that just shows how evil and Nazi you are. But if you don't have CCTV, negligence, you are negligent for not having, constant surveillance there. So it doesn't matter which way they go; they're going to be accused of some misdeeds. So anyway, the guy, the young man, the youth, call it what you will, gets arrested and for yet another crime, and he's put in prison. Now, given how much they want to not put them in prison, you got to assume that it's serious enough. They're going, hey, we got to put this guy away. So he's put in prison. He's monitored on the hour, and supposedly so. And over the 10 hours that he's, but on the 11th hour, he somehow manages to top himself. The details are not clear on how that was done. and how he was able to do it so quickly in between the hourly records of the monitoring that he was getting from the prison guards. So now it's run as a headline. Now the talk about hysterical and hyperbolic. Now it is a sad, unfortunately, if anyone is driven to those depths of despair. That's now when he's put in prison, he was under the influence of drugs and alcohol, and the blood tests hadn't come back as to what the drugs were, and he was uncooperative and so on. So it maybe was somehow a result of the drugs. It's not known yet. But this was seized upon by the leftist media, and again, running feature headlines, the Guardian type sort of readership. But the hyperbolic was the evil system. The system is evil to its core. The horrific system. Evil, white supremacy, evil, patriarchy, evil Hitler, and so these insane sort of assertions and so the kid died, so that means Hitler did it, and everything that Hitler stands for is what the prison system is. So that's absurd. So where there's accusation, the inhumanity, the evilness and the inhumanity, the constant inhumanity, the racism, yet these assertions were being made all over these hysterical articles, but I couldn't find not one. That this is this is an act of inhumanity. This is the act of racism. This is the policy that is racist, or this is not once did they cite an example of it. It was claimed with very emotive language that this was. And then jumping straight into and reminds you of Nazi Germany, and and reminds you of Hitler. The only thing missing was the swastika, and on and on and on it went. But not a single claim of what are these bad things? What are these inhumanities? What is it that makes it that Hitler did it? And again, so I combed through a few articles here. And they are all media articles, and they're all the same. There was even an extractions from a supposed independent study. Independent, sure, that was done of the prison system in relation to Indigenous Australians being imprisoned, and it was the same. It was just one endless race grifting talking point after another. There was and like the horrendous, horrific murder of innocent George Floyd in America, the evilness of a knee on the neck, of white people oppressing, and it just went on and on and on with that horrific, that hyperbolic language about this was horrific, that was horrific. Horrific. Talk about an overused word. So now. Let's put some perspective on this. Over the last 12 months, in the area of Australia that has the largest proportion of Indigenous Australians, 2 career criminal youths have taken their own life. Two in the last. In fact, it's more than 12 months. It's getting on for close to 2 years now. So this is supposed to be an example of the most horrendous evilness of whitey racism. Makes Hitler look like a choir boy. The evilness of so again the hyperbolic sort of. But what are the real issues? What are these racist things? No mention is made of that, and also there's no. These people are hyperventilating about the evilness of it all, but no one's putting forward solutions. Okay, let's accept for a moment that it is the epitome of racist, evil, Hitler, Nazi. What are the solutions? Concrete solutions. Okay, you say it's terrible. What are we going to do? Oh, no, that's someone else's problem to fix. Oh, no. I can hurl grenades in from a distance, even though I'm so ill-informed about it. But the solution, someone else can figure that out. No. I just say that we need solutions, and that you're morally bereft if you don't come up with solutions in the next 1 second. So there's no real, it's all, the whole thing is a massive race grift. I believe that it is, if I was in charge, which I'm not, I never will be, but if I was in charge, I would take it seriously along the lines, okay, if this is a problem, what are the problems precisely and how can we fix them? I would, and that's very much an attitude I take towards things. But no one's doing that. Everyone's looking at how they can angle, play it off the break and race grift and race hustle and this and that. And so there's no one around that seems to really want to fix anything. They want to scream about how terrible it is and how evil Whitey is, but that's it. It seems to end there. But this is the politicized nature of it. The regional governor and all the regional political heavies and everyone came out of the woodwork, and they're all attempting to say how terrible it is. A heart goes out to the the guy's got no parents, so I don't know who your heart's going to go out to there, but anyway, so now let's look at the same time. Now remember, this is a media campaign, a race grift media campaign running for days. Now, over that same time, a number of young white boys in the same age group overdosed from drugs in situations of despair. Well, where's the headline for them? Is there a headline for them? Well, okay, all right, not a feature headline, but maybe it's somewhere in the stories that no. In fact, nowhere, anywhere in the media is there a mention of these young white men who died. All right, then, well, okay. What about the men that committed suicide because they've been utterly ruined by the divorce courts? Financially, their lives are absolutely screwed forever, and they're not allowed to see their children because of false allegations of domestic violence, and even an allegation alone is enough to swing the case. So here are these men committing suicide in clearly deaths of despair. Where is the headline for them? There's none. Okay. What about the white boys that are being come from poor areas and they're being ruthlessly and relentlessly bullied by brown and black people, recent migrants, and they commit suicide, and again a death of despair? Where is the headline for them? Well, no, they don't get a headline because they're straight, white, and male. They've got social power. These other people don't have social power, so we have to speak for them. We have to be the voices of power speaking back against Hitler. What? What is that how you're billing yourself, you fucking morons? So there's no mention of all these other deaths, but this one death of despair, which is, it's a tragedy and should be seen as much. And if there's corrective measures to be taken, then they should be investigated, absolutely. But there were many, many, many other deaths of despair at that same time. But when they're white, they don't get a single mention. You've been with Tacitus today, your Pushback channel. Thank you for listening.